So guys, today you have received your GCSE results and a big well done to you for all the hard work that you have done throughout the year. Now, there will be some of you who may not have received the desired grade that you wanted. Perhaps some of you were on a grade 8 and you wanted a 9. Perhaps some of you were on a grade 4 and you wanted a 5. And you will be thinking about what you can do next. Now, the first thing that you should do is have a look at the sheet of paper that your school will give you and the marks that you got on each subject. Now, I'm going to speak specifically for maths because that's my subject area. So what you want to do is get a copy or get a hold of the grade boundaries for maths or the subject that you're doing and look at how close or far away you were from the next grade up. Now, you might want to get a remark done for a number of reasons. It could be that a grade 9 looks a lot better on your CV or your future prospects, whatever you're going to be doing. It looks a lot better than a grade 8. Or, you didn't make the borderline pass grade of a grade 4. Maybe you're on a grade 3 and you were some marks away. That could be a reason why. The cost that's associated with it depends on where you're at. So let me give you an example of this. If you are somebody who, let's say, got a grade 7 and you are close to a grade 8, maybe for 3 marks or whatever, and you want to remark, then you'd have to pay for this service because your school is unlikely to pay for that because it costs. And I think I've got it here. I mean, there's different kind of things that you can do. There's a clerical check where they just check that everything's been added up correctly, that sort of stuff. And then there's a review of marking. Now, the review of marking for GCSE, for Edexcel, it's around £46 per paper, per unit. So paper 1, 2 and 3. And for AQA, it's £42. And OCR is a lot more expensive, it's £61.50. So this is where you get somebody new, a new examiner, marking your paper from scratch. Just in case the first examiner, they had a certain way of marking that perhaps didn't add up to what the exam boards, how they want the marking to be done. Okay, so you're going to have a fresh examiner, and for that, you have to pay for that service. This is worthwhile doing if you are close to the grade boundaries because it's unlikely that the first examiner made that much of a mistake. Remember, sometimes some questions can be subjective. Do you order mark here for this working out or not? With maths, it's quite straightforward. With other subjects like English, it could vary. And this is where you have to get advice from an English teacher. But for maths, I would say if you were 4, maybe even 5. 5 is a maximum ceiling for me, I think. Then consider getting a remark. But bear in mind this, if you are 5 or 4 marks away, just understand it might not come from one paper. You'd have to submit maybe all 3 papers. So this is a cost that you have to consider. But the good news is if your grade goes up, then you get that money back. And of course, if it stays the same, then you don't. Now, there's always people worried, can my marks, my grade go down completely? For maths, it won't happen because think about this. If you're so close to the next grade boundary, it also means that you're so far away from whatever got you into that grade boundary as well. Otherwise, you should not even be considering. So if you're somebody who, let's say, just got into a grade 5 by a few marks, you would not even be considering getting a remark for a grade 6 because you're so far away from a grade 6 and you won't get that. So going back to how many papers you should submit to get marked, if you are 1 mark away, it could be just that one unit, that one paper that you hand in. But the question is, how do you know which paper to hand in? And this is going to require you to get a copy of your script, which you can do that. I think that's for free. Yes, all the exam boards are free. You need to speak to your school, but they do set a deadline sometime in September. So when you go back to school, speak to your teachers, get a copy of your script. And you might need to get somebody like a maths teacher to have a look at this. Now, I would warn you, teachers will be very busy. Imagine having hundreds of students come up to them if you all decide to do this and asking them to sit down and really mark your work because that's what they would have to be doing. They have to look at your script and look at the mark scheme and really mark it. And then they can advise you where, maybe you could get a few marks here and there and if it's worth handing in. So that is something that you would need to do. Okay, so like I said, there's an access to getting your script. There's a clerical check that you can do, and a clerical check is a lot cheaper. It's £13 or something for Edexcel, just to check that they've all the marks were added up, everything was counted correctly, and the results match the mark on your paper. Literally. So sometimes, when they're transferring a mark from the paper onto a computer system, could they have made a mistake there? That's a clerical check. But go for the review of marking if you feel that you got a shock in the exam. Maybe you're a grade 7 student and you got grade 5. Something might have gone wrong that could be to do with the marking. Now, going back to the payment of reviewing your marking, depending on your grade, some schools, in fact, most schools, would pay themselves on your behalf to get your paper remarked if it means that it will improve their overall school's pass rate. So if you're on a grade 3 and you're a few marks away from a grade 4, the school would most likely pay on your behalf because it will improve how they look amongst the league tables. So that will be done automatically. I'm sure your teachers or someone from your school would be in touch with you because they have to get your permission to do this. You just need to sign a form. So look out for that. And that could also be for a grade 4 into a grade 5, because having a grade 5 higher pass rates at grade 5 will also mean a lot for the school and how it appears in the league table. However, if it just means a grade 6 to a grade 7, then it doesn't really do anything for the school. It's more for your own personal satisfaction and how it appears on your CV, on your future prospects. Finally, remember, there is the November resit exams that you can take just for GCSE Maths and English. So this is where you take these exams again, all 3 papers for Maths, and whatever grade the outcome that you get, you will get this in January. By then, though, it might be too late for you to go into any courses. So the first thing that you should try to do is the remarking process. Explore that first, because if your grade changes and you get the news of that pretty fast, pretty quickly, then it means that you can go and access courses for the new year that you otherwise wouldn't do with the grades that you have. So that is something that you should explore first before you look at the November resit, because whatever happens with the resit exams, let's say you do pass, then it's the following year that you can sort of do anything with it. And lastly, as we end this video, I would like to just take this opportunity to congratulate every single one of you, irregardless of what you achieved, as long as you worked hard. That's what's important to me, because hard work is something that gets people far in life. And if you have that work ethic, then you will get far in life, even if it didn't happen now. All the best for your future, and I'll see you in the next one.